Rockefeller. We got to stop those greedy corporatists, those monopolizers.
Thank you for joining us. I'm here once again with the esteemed Ford Suze. This time I remembered his name, which kudos to me. On Friday with Friends, which Ford actually named. But so, anyways, we talked last time about connecting and how that is our weapon against the Empire.
Right.
And but I did want to mention, I should have mentioned this on the outset. So I became a big fan of The Wire because of Ford. Ford introduced me to The Wire. I love it. But I have to point out that I think it's a little bit narcissistic because, or weird. And this is going to get really awkward. I think the main character, McNulty, or one of the main characters, I guess he's the main character, right? McNulty? Mm-hmm. I think he's a weird doppelganger of me and you combined.
That is really fascinating.
Right now, on the screen, I have a picture of McNulty. Take a picture of me. Take a picture of you. Combine them.
That Baltimore accent he's got.
Yeah,
bunk, yo, bunk.
Yeah, see, look, you have the voice for sure, and the general look, really. I just kind of add the brown hair.
Well, what's done is done.
I don't know why I brought that up. Just,
yeah, The Wire is based on this book, The Corner. Highly recommend.
The Corner. Oh, okay.
The Corner. Highly recommend this.
Tell us about it.
It gives you the background. Basically, you'll notice parallels between, this is real reporting, a year on the streets in Baltimore. David Simon and Ed Burns. David Simon with years of experience as a beat reporter in the homicide, in Baltimore. And then Ed Burns, he was a homicide detective, and then he was a school teacher. So their combined experience on the streets of Baltimore, that first-person understanding. They understand the cultural context, all that, and you get to see the real Bubbles, who is actually based on a woman. And there's a guy in the show, the woman, who loosely, you can loosely say that the Bubbles character is kind of analogous to her. Her son in real life, he actually came on the show.
Oh, who did he play?
Mozone's bodyguard. Remember Brother Mozone?
Yeah.
He was like, go get me some magazines.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is fantastic. Some of the things in here, though, I agree with him to a large degree. What I like is he comes out from behind his, third-person omniscient description of what these people are going through. He'll do some editorials about it, and so you get to understand where he's coming at it from economically, politically, socially. And Simon is your typical liberal reporter.
Yeah.
But this is some really good long-form journalism from a liberal reporter.
Wow.
And so I end up disagreeing with his conclusion, like his diagnosis of the problem. So he basically says that it's capitalism as Olympian God. Now, I think that's a much better, diagnosis than the typical, Keynesian capitalist or socialist critique of capitalism. That's taken a step further. I like that much better. But I would go further. I would say that it's not just capitalism as Olympian God, it's consumerism as Olympian God. It's consumer entitlement.
Isn't that what crony capitalism is?
Yeah, which crony capitalism is, it shouldn't be a word because it's not true. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
Crony capitalism is all about having a supply, right? A supply of not money, but of goods.
Resources of goods, yeah.
Resources, right?
Yeah.
So heads of capital,
right.
Heads of cattle, like capital,
yeah.
Heads.
Yeah.
So it's actually having these resources. Crony capitalism is not about that. It's about, hoarding the resources. Capitalism isn't about hoarding the resources. It's about utilizing to their best effect, right? And so I feel like it's just almost all of these diatribes about capitalism are just a blatant misunderstanding of it from the outset. It's just it's a straw man fallacy from the beginning, where they're envisioning, oh, this greedy Rockefeller from, whatever.
Mhm.
Oh, that greedy Rockefeller, we got to stop those greedy corporatists, those monopolizers. And that becomes the means by which we discredit the whole enterprise. It's not capitalism as Olympian God. It's entitled consumerism in which we use people as resources. Okay. And that's the problem. The Democrats use people as resources.
Yeah.
And
voters.
People are just votes.
Yeah.
Constituents are resources.
Right.
Like that type of thing. People are only useful if they're buying. So we are at our best when we're making.
Exactly.
Not when we're working. Not when we're just working for someone else, but we're getting
creating
the opportunity to make. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's this. So we've got this stunted conversation of this that's rooted in the 70s. Like, we're stuck in the 70s and talking about industrialism and factories and blah, blah, blah. Like, all that's changed anyway because you kicked all the factories away.
Yeah.
Like, they moved away because of unions. So, it's just, we're stuck in this spin cycle,
Well, I guess I have one question with all that. Who do you picture when you do the little guy who's critiquing who is it you're thinking about? I like that little.
Oh, who's critiquing capitalism?
Yeah. When do you have somebody in your mind when you're like, I don't know. It's a very interesting little like.
I call him the hipster critic. He's this guy with the male version of that. There's a term for this. It's like that. It's like that Valley Girl lilt. It's like something curl.
Oh yeah. I just call it, yeah.
That voice, so it's like, let me tell you. It's like comic guy, but with economics and arts.
We thank you for tuning in. Check out the Surfing Violinist. He's got great videos on there, all about India, but also funny and informative stuff.